So good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us today. We are super excited to be here with you. I even put on my nicest jacket for you today. Um, we are going to give a couple minutes for our stragglers to get logged in, and then we'll jump into a demo. Before we do that, we'll do a little drawing. It happens probably 2, 3, 4 times a day. Someone will just ask me, Dan, how are you so good at your job? And really the secret to success is just I love giving away money. And so we're going to do a little drawing for some of our favorite agents who were kind enough to help provide us some feedback on our recent restaurants launch. We will pick 3 winners who will each receive a $50 gift card. And we're going to do that live. So we'll give everybody another minute or so to get logged in. Then we'll jump in and run a little drawing, to kind of talk appetite, do a demo, and then we'll wrap up with a Q&A.
Yeah, one of the benefits of working for a neo insurer who uses all the latest and greatest technology is that we can set up AI bots so that we don't have to ask Dan that question every day, and we could just have an AI do it for us, and he can leave us the heck alone. We'll train them to Dan, why are you so great at your job? Just over and over throughout the day.
I like that. Why haven't we made that yet?
We're gonna work on it, man. Me and you.
It goes to everyone in the company, and it's a great morale booster.
Awesome. Well, hey, let me go ahead and share my screen, and then let's jump in. All right, so on this side of the screen, I've got a list of all our entrants, and what we will do is use random.org. This is a really cool little website. It actually uses cosmic microwave background radiation to generate random numbers for us. And so, in a way, the winners today are selected by the universe itself. Pretty cool. Let's give it a click and see what we get. 25. That is going to be Michael L. Excellent. Let's do one more. That's number 11. That's going to be Josh Huffstetler. That's awesome. One of my favorite agents to work with. Congrats, Josh, if you're watching this.
And Michael, don't feel bad. The rest of us like you too, even if Dan tries to be partial.
And 27, Cesar Alvarenga, another great agent. So this is really, really fun. Very happy all 3 of these folks won. And if any of you are tuned in, thank you so much for working with MGT. We appreciate your partnership, and we're excited to receive your feedback and act on it. Let me get that out of the way, and we can jump into the fun part. Before we run through the demo, though, let's take a quick detour, talk about Appetite a little bit. When will you actually get to use this great system you're about to see? MGT is an A- rated carrier, and we write admitted BOPs for small businesses. We're writing about 300 classes of business, and I would say the easiest way to think about what kinds of risks would fit with MGT is if you imagine yourself driving to the grocery store, it's the businesses you see on both sides of the road. We're going to be a great fit for things like professional and medical offices, retail stores. We also write wholesalers and distributors of those same goods that we support the retail operations for. We're a great fit for things like barbershops, beauty parlors, nail salons, bakeries, coffee shops, restaurants, including liquor liability in most states. We're writing, service businesses, all kinds of great stuff. What's small business? To us, that means up to 3 million in revenues for most classes, up to 5 million in revenue for office risks. We'll write up to 2 million total insured value per location and up to 4 locations per policy. That might be an area that makes MGT a little bit unique in the market. Most small business carriers I'm familiar with might give you 2 million per policy, maybe 3 million per policy. We give you 2 million per location, up to 4 locations per policy. So a little bit more flexibility there. We'll write businesses with 1 to 100 employees. New ventures are eligible. We will also write businesses with coverage lapses, no prior insurance, claims history, depending on the circumstances. So, we are very focused on small business, but they don't all have to be the nicest, most perfect, most clean risks ever. We know not everybody's going to fit in those tight little boxes. We want to give you some flexibility. Now, let's jump into the fun part. All you will do once you go to mgtinsurance.com, first off, make sure you bookmark that. That way you know where to go when a small business quote lands on your desk. Then click sign in. That'll take you into our dashboard. If you want the full experience, make sure you check out our YouTube page. You can just search out MGT Insurance. While you're there, hit the like and subscribe buttons so you get all of our MGT updates. And you can see recordings of previous webinars that we've run as well. So this is not a live platform demo, but this will give you a very good feel for the flow and some of the features that are available. We'll kind of talk through it as we go. One of my favorite statistics, though, is actually right here, right up front and center on the screen. Over 80% of our policies go from logging in to start a quote to bound and issued in 10 minutes or less. So in this first page, this is what you'll see when that appetite finding piece and starting a quote piece are in order. And then we'll just hit forward. So now we can kind of look through, once we add the address and the class of business, in this next page, we'll start to ask a couple questions to clarify the type of coverage and the risk that we're looking at. One of these questions is, do you wish to insure any buildings at your location? If we were to say yes, there's a follow-up question that comes up that basically asks, is there any other exposure other than the class of business that we're quoting, including residential exposures in this same building? If that's the case, it'll let you know right away that building's not an appetite for us. And our idea there is we want to give you that answer. Hopefully it's yes, but my job would just be way too easy if it was yes all the time. So when it is no, it's going to tell you as soon as we know that.
We got to give you a challenge, Dan.
No, this is a fun one. So in step 1 of quoting with MGT, first thing we'll do is enter some basic information about the business, things like the address, receipts, some information about the business owner. We'll enter some more information. We'll set the expiration date here, the effective date, year it was established, number of employees, couple questions about their insurance history. Then we'll start to ask eligibility questions. And this page, sometimes it's kind of humble looking, but it's really, really cool. We actually are providing those eligibility questions based on the class of business. So we're only asking what's relevant to that specific risk. We're not going to ask all kinds of crazy questions that we just added for every risk. It's really geared towards what you're quoting. So we're not wasting your time. We're not sending you on wild goose chases. Typically, you're looking at anywhere from 4 to 7 questions on this page. Then in the next step, we'll add some building information. This is pretty straightforward stuff, but one tip I always like to share, I'll see this happen semi-frequently, where someone will start the quote out in that first page, they'll say, yes, we need building limits. And then by the time they make it here to page 3, they take a second look at those apps. Turns out it's actually a rental unit. We don't need building limits after all. If that ever happens to you, all you have to do is select this drop-down box on the top. There will be a few options there, store, garage, storage, things like that, office. And then just select business personal property only. That will remove the building limits and the building information from that quote. And then you can just proceed nice and easy working with the BPP only quote. Once you've got all that added, that's actually all the eligibility and rating questions. The only step left is to add any optional coverages. So you can select those. This list will also populate based on what's available for that class of business. This was prepared with a nail salon. We do great on those, by the way. Send us all your nail salons. And you'll see here in the list, we've got some professional liability included. That's not a huge concern for grocery stores, so you won't see that when you're quoting a grocery store. But on the other side of the coin, when you are quoting a grocery store, you'll see spoilage coverage. Not a huge concern for nail salons. So we're only showing you what's relevant. Then once we've done all that, you'll be able to click a button towards the bottom that says see your quote. It'll think for about 3 seconds and then you'll get an answer right away. You'll see here we've got pricing available in quarterly installments or one annual payment. We are a direct bill carrier, so that's nice. There's no additional fees, no premium finance charges. I always like to say the premium is the premium. The rest of this page, it looks, I'm sure, familiar to anyone who's been in the industry for at least a couple weeks. This is where you'll set all of your deductibles, all your sublimits, really tailor that coverage to the risk. One thing I like about the way we do things is we're not including and charging for every single coverage that they could possibly have. We're really giving you the ability to build something that fits that specific business and their risks and their needs. We'll click through. And once we've done that, you'll have the option to either send a payment link to the prospect or collect their payment information live. This is another great feature. We've just found over the years that not everybody likes to share credit card information over the phone. And you know what? We provide some cyber liability on our BOP. So when a business owner is proactive about protecting that PII, we appreciate it. Thank them for us. All you have to do is send them a confirmation payment link, and they'll get a nice professional email they can follow to go to our secure payment website. From there, it's pretty straightforward. Select annual or quarterly, e-check, credit, or debit. One thing I always like to share at this point is we do not charge any payment fees, no matter how they choose to pay. You'll enter in a couple more pieces of information, just confirming their email address, agreeing that they are actually allowed to buy the policy. There's a link towards the bottom of the page to download an application. We don't require signed apps. I do work with agents every day who like to get those apps, print them out, have them signed, retain them for their records. Hey, I work in insurance too. I can appreciate a good paper trail. But don't let that hold you back. It's not a requirement to bind. So if you want to get your information straight and have that paper trail built up, but you've got something that really just needs to get bound and on the books today, don't let us slow you down. Once you have completed this process, you'll be taken to this page. It's really just a confirmation to say this policy's been bound. We'll send a receipt out to both parties so we all have a record this transaction happened. The policyholder will receive an invitation to create an account on the platform so that they can access the policyholder self-service features. And within about a minute or two, you'll have all those documents for you. So you can create certificates, download the deck page, you'll have the full policy jacket available. So if you have a lender or a landlord who's waiting on proof of insurance, you don't have to keep coming back to check on it. You can just send it over to them, cross that off your to-do list, move on to the next thing. And that's it. I hope that this at least has given you a sense of how fast, how easy it is to work with MGT, how flexible we are as a team and able to work with it when life throws curveballs our way. And, when that happens to your clients, we're here for them too. So if anyone has any questions, we can use the Q&A button right towards the bottom of your screen. It should be right about here. It says Q&A, and make sure you type in your questions there. Just because of the attendance here, we don't have mics turned on for everybody because that would get confusing really quick. But if you want to call me later and just ask how I'm so good at my job, you're welcome to.
We might have trouble getting a hold of you with all the calls you get on that. Yeah, it is just to take a couple moments while we get questions in. It is such a pleasure to be able to do this with our agents every single week. If you can't tell, we have a lot of fun with it. But the reason that all of us are in this industry doing what we do is that we love working with the independent agents. So thank you for coming today. Thank you for your questions, for your attendance, for your engagement with us. It really makes such a big difference because we want to build something that is successful for you and your insureds. And honestly, we just like to come and have fun with y'all. So I look forward to these meetings every single week. All right, so we got one in from Evelyn who wants to know, is Florida a state that will be added in the future?
So Florida, at least in our current plans as a state, we are not looking to roll out our admitted product in. Now, you never know what the future will bring, but that's the way things stand currently. Despite all of my begging and pleading, and trust me, there's quite a bit of it, we are not looking to expand into Hawaii or Florida, even though those agents need attention and face time. It's just not in the cards at the moment. We're really looking to build up a good, stable foundation so we can be a reliable partner to you, not just for this year or the next 5, but the next 10, 20, and beyond.
Yeah, ask us again in 6 months to a year, and Dan and I will get our pitchforks and torches out, and we'll do our best to make it happen. It's a great question, though. Appreciate you asking that, Evelyn. All right, I think we might have. I think that might be all the questions for today. Fantastic job, Dan. Thanks for hosting this for us.
Anytime.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and actually, why don't you close us out? I get so like, yeah, it's a pleasure. Thank you, everybody, for coming today.
Yes, thank you so much, everybody. I hope that through this demo, you're able to get a little taste of how MGT makes things easy. Our whole goal with this is really to give you the tools you need to control your business, your future, protect the businesses in your community so that they can feel safe and they can sleep well at night. We find a lot of personal value in that. And, we hope that by making it easy for you, we're giving you time to do that and also giving you some time back to do all the important things that you love to do, aside from just selling insurance, which I know everybody on this call loves to do. Otherwise, probably wouldn't have taken the time to join this call. So thank you so much, everybody, for attending. We really appreciate your time today. It's been great. This is honestly my favorite hour of the week, even when I'm not jumping into the sparkly jacket. But that's always a nice little bonus too. So thank you again, everybody. We will, again, share this on our YouTube page if you want to revisit the great times we've had today. And I'll just wrap it up by saying that, one question I do get a lot, didn't come in through the chat today. What does MGT stand for? For the last 25 minutes, I think it stood for mighty good time. I hope you've had one too. Thanks so much. I'll be back next week. So make sure to tip your bartender and try the veal.
Yeah, everybody.